नाना शास्त्र विचारनिका निपनौ सद्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनानंदेन मत्तालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव Gopalakau. So I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Sri Radha and Krishna. So summary, the three important shlokas. First about Uttama Bhakti, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukullena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. And the second shlok, what is the best devotional service? Sarvapadi Vinirbhuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So what we have to remember is that our bhakti has to be devoid of all other desires. It has to be favorable to Krishna. It has to be cultivated by following the instructions of the predecessor gurus. It has to be not covered by from all material limitations. We have to take Krishna as the highest object. What we have to achieve, it has to be a service and it has to be nirmalam, that is faultless. Then the five important aspects, how it is to be developed: Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Shravana, Mathura Vasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana. So we should associate with the devotees, we should chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. So this is the topic which we are going to be covering today after the summary. So three categories of devotional service: Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. So as we become more and more attached to Krishna, our devotion, our affection increases and we reach the stage of Prema Bhakti. The eligibility for doing the Bhakti is mercy of a devotee. We should not be overly attached to anything, neither we should be overly detached from the aspects. So how to discharge devotional service? 64 items of Sadhana Bhakti, 20 important items and 44 additional items. So 20 important items, 10 pravritti karma, 10 nivritti karma, 39 other items of sadhana, and 5 most effective items which we recited in the beginning. The 10 items which we have to accept, that is taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru, receiving initiation and spiritual instructions, serving Guru with love, following the path of the sadhus, raising questions about the procedures of bhajana, renunciating all material enjoyment for the sake of Krishna, to live in a sacred place and to hear the greatness of such places, accepting only what is required for the sustenance of bhakti, observing vow on Ekadashi, which we did yesterday, and offering respect to the Ashwatha, Tulsi, Amlaki tree, the cows, the Brahmanas, and the Vaishnavas. 10 aspects which have to be avoided are giving up the association of non-devotees, give up the desire to make many disciples, giving up many undertakings, renouncing the study of many scriptures, giving up miserly behavior, giving up lamentation, anger, giving up blasphemy and disrespect of other devatas, giving up harassment of other living entities, giving up all offenses in regard to seva and nama, and we should not tolerate blasphemy of Sri Guru, Krishna, or the devatas. Then the 44 other activities which we have understood are 11 items related to the body, 5 items related to the voice, 2 related to taste, 1 each related to smell and touch, 2 related to your eyes, 1 related to hearing, 9 related to mind, 4 the Tadiya Seva, 3 mixed, and 5 the principal items which we saw little while ago. Then we also understood the 10 Namaprats, which I am repeating again. They are coming from the Brahma Khanda of the Padma Puran. One, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name. Two, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Vishnu. Three, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Four, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Six, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Seven, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Eight, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Nine, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions of this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prem. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Mulitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cham Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are going to be starting the 8th chapter of Nectar of Devotion. And what we are going to be understanding in this chapter is about the 19th item which was said about offenses to be avoided. So this particular chapter that we are talking, or the discussion that we are going to be having today, is basically an elaboration of the 19th item of sadhana. So let us see what is mentioned about it in the scriptures. So what we are talking about is sadhana, whose essence definitely is to be fixing the mind on Krishna. So the main objective is always to ensure that we fix our mind on Krishna. So if we are able to fix our mind on Krishna, then our objective of bhakti is achieved successfully. The second aspect, indirectly what it means is that it is an offense if something that takes mind away from Krishna is done, because then it is going to be minimizing his importance. So that is what we So let us now understand what it means. Seva nam apradhanam varjanam yatha varahe mama archana aparadha eva kirtayante vasudhe maya वैष्णवेन सदा ते तु varjaniyah prayatnatah. So, avoiding seva and nama prats illustrated in the Varaha Purana. The devotees should avoid the offenses in deity worship described by me, O earth, at all times and with great care. This is the importance of how we have to be very, very careful about the offenses that we are studying today. So, where the two different categories of offenses, seva aprad and nama aprad. So seva aprad is offenses in deity worship which are less serious, because finally the power of holy name is going to automatically correct the offensive mentality generated by seva aprad. Nama aprad, however, is little dangerous because it is an offense in the chanting of the holy name and it cannot be corrected. That is why we always say that nama aprad should never be done. So when we are talking about seva aprad, what we need to understand is, when we are saying we have to do seva to the deities or vigrahas, what are the benefits? Because we have also seen what to be done amongst the to-dos was that we have to worship the deities also. So it is said that there are a lot of benefits which come out of when we worship the deities or the vigrahas. And even Prabhupada ji, when he has given us this simple form, he has told us that we have to follow the 4 regulatory principles and what we have to do, ABCD. So the D here, besides Krishna Prasad diet, also stands for deity worship. And so we have to be understanding today what is the importance of deity worship or what are the benefits we get out of the deity worship. So let us see the benefits today in detail. So hopefully it will make us more conducive and more desirous that yes, we want to take up to deity worship now. So first is Lord descends in the deity. So Vigraha and Krishna, they are not at all different. It is mentioned that the form of the Lord as worshipped in the temples is called Archa Vigraha or Archa Avatar. The worshipable form, the deity incarnation. The deity form is the spiritual of the form of the Lord, which is visible to our material eyes, so that we can serve him and awaken love for him. So all neophytes must therefore engage in the worship of the Lord by keeping the Archa Vigraha, Archa Avatar at home or in the table. This is an excerpt which is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.27. So let us see. The very first thing which is mentioned here is, what are the deities? They are the actual incarnation of the Lord himself. See, with this material eyes, we cannot understand the transcendental nature, the qualities and the greatness of Krishna. We cannot see him. So if you have to see him, what we require is Shastra Chakshu. But again, Shastra Chakshu cannot develop all of a sudden. And that is why Lord Krishna, who is so merciful upon us, what does he do? He incarnates in the form of Archa Vigraha. So it is said that the moment we decide we have to take up to bhakti, we should start serving the deities. Because then we are directly serving the Krishna himself. And automatically it starts cleaning up our heart and it starts awakening the love which is remaining dormant in our heart for Krishna. Now, archas need not always be the archas that we see. It is not possible that immediately we are able to do it. So what is said is, you should at least have the laminated photos of the Archa Vigrahas. And you should start worshipping them with complete devotion and care. So you will get nearly the same results that you would have got by serving the archas directly. Second benefit, here we have the evidences first, how all the previous acharyas, they had been worshipping the vigrahas. So as you can see here, clearly Madhvacharya, who was our, on whose name our whole Sampradaya is named, he used to worship Udupi Krishna. Next, if you see Ramanujacharya, who defeated the philosophy of the other departures and even Buddhism, he used to worship Ranganathji. If you see Shankaracharya, even he used to worship Badri Vishal, that is Badrinathji. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to worship Lord Jagannath. So this indirectly proves the importance of deity worship. And hence each one of us has to take up to deity worship as soon as possible. The benefit secondly is, let us understand what is deity worship. Now God is a spirit, but as Krishna reveals in Bhagavad Gita, matter is Krishna's energy. Now because we cannot pursue spirit in our present condition, Krishna allows us to see him in his deity form made of material elements, which is identical to him. And that is why we are directly in association with Krishna. Thirdly, it is an important process. Why? Because it purifies our vision to see Krishna in spiritual form. It's a tangible way to serve God directly in our present state. And thirdly, it gains attention and devotion in our devotional service. So let us make it very clear that deity worship is not idol worship, but it is worship of the Lord according to his instructions. And hence, we have to follow the Pancharatrika Vidhi, which is given on how to worship Krishna. And if you are able to follow that carefully, then succeedingly, slowly and steadily, our bhakti towards Krishna increases. And it increases to such an extent that it's an exponential growth. So if without deity worship, you would have grown, say, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. But here what happens? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Hari Bol! That's the speed. Because it is not idol worship. It is directly our establishing relationship with Krishna. And hence, deity worship is important. Other aspects, it saves us from hellish reactions as well. Because otherwise, if you are not getting attached to Krishna, where will we be attached to? As we see the current people, either to cricket matches or to movies or some mundane kathas, kak kathas, as Maharaj calls them. But we have to be attached to Krishna katha, and for that, deity worship. It infuses mundane mind with spiritual inspiration, because it's a subtle body, so that gets activated. It's a good engagement for this gross body. It purifies our complete existence. Our heart itself gets purified, and it relieves us from the sense agitations. Because otherwise, we'll continuously be in anxieties and sensual agitations. So we have to always be in deity worship, because then we'll get freedom from anxiety of mind and agitation of senses. Jiva Goswami has also clearly helped us in his commentary. He has directed us. So what does Goswami Prabhupada talks about is that we have to avoid the offenses. Because now that it is established how important this seva is, and we start doing this seva, it also becomes important to understand what are the small mistakes which may happen inadvertently by us. And that is why this summarization today. I would request all of you to always keep a copy of this presentation, which is available, so that you keep on reading it as and when you get time, and you consciously start avoiding these mistakes. Because even if we don't have the Archa Vigras at our home, even when we are visiting temple, it is likely that we may be doing these mistakes unknowingly. So let us see what those mistakes are. So Jiva Goswami ji in his commentary says, first, avoidance of sevaprad is discussed. So the following is the list found in the Puranas. Generally, what we do whenever we go to the temple, we either go in car or in some vehicle or in auto. So it is said that entering the Lord's temple in palanquin or with vehicle is true. So you can maybe get down outside the temple entrance. But when you are going in, you should not go as if you are a king or as if you are a person of importance. So those who try to get the vehicles into the temple compound, please be careful. You should never enter Lord's temple in any kind of assistance. Second, not observing the festivals of the deity. So, if our deity is having any kind of a festival, suppose we have Jagannath Ji at our place, then it is very important that we follow the festivals of Jagannath Ji, that is Rath Yatra, his illness period, his period when he is at his Mausi's place, and then his return. Because those are the important festivals of Jagannath. If you are having Gaur Nitai, then definitely we should follow the Gaur Nityananda Trayodasi, Gauranga appearance day, and their disappearance. Third is not offering obeisances in front of them. Now, when we are talking about obeisances, let us understand what is obeisance. So, Shastras say for male, the obeisance is lying down completely prostrate. So, everything fully we have to lie down. That is an obeisance. So, to the deities, we should offer full obeisance. And the deities should be on our left hand side. And for females, it is said that they should offer pancha. That is, they should not touch their chest or stomach to the floor. They should be touching only their hands, head, and the knees on the floor. And that is how they should be offering the obeisance. So this is how the obeisance has to be offered. If you are going to temple and you are not offering the obeisances in this manner, then it is considered as an offense. So let us avoid it henceforth when you go. Fourth, offering prayers to Lord in unclean state, or not having shaven, or not having washed and gone, or after taking prasadam and then offering the prayers. No. We have to be pure. We have to be clean. We have to avoid it. Then only our prayers are acceptable format. Offering respects with one hand, never to be done. You should have both your hands folded when you are offering respect to anyone, including the deity. Sixth, circumambulating in front of the Lord. So you should never show your back to Lord. That is the instruction here. So that is why you should not circumambulate at one place. Oh, this way. No. You should circumambulate fully. You should never show your back to the Lord. That is what is meant by this. Seventh is spreading the legs in front of the deity. Because then that is complete disrespect. So you should never have your legs in front of the deities. If you are not able to sit properly, you want to keep your legs, then always fold them and keep them behind. Eighth, clasping the hands on the knees in front of the deities. Even that has to be avoided. Because you should never touch your legs. So if you are trying to sit this way, no, that is an offense. Your legs are paining, then the way to sit is let the legs go behind and you stand, sit on the legs. That is important. Next is the ninth, lying down in front of the deity. You're very tired, the deities are closed, there's no one in the temple. So let me sleep here only. It's very cool here. Outside it's very hot. No, never to be done. Neither lying down, neither eating or telling lies in front of the deities. It has to be avoided. Speaking loudly in front of the deity or gossiping in front of the deity is also an offense. Even if you are very, very sorrowful, you are under distress, we should not cry in front of the deity. Now, crying and the tears out of love, they are different. But because you are angry, you are not happy with what Lord is doing to you, so you want to cry, that is not allowed. Quarreling in front of the deities. You should never fight in front of deities. You have something to say to someone, even on phone, not in front of the deities. Outside. Fighting in front of the deities. Definitely. Thanking others in front of the deities. See, whatever we get, whatever is there, who does it all belong to? To Krishna. So who has given it to us? Krishna. So if in front of Krishna you are thanking someone else, then that is an offense. You have to thank, you have to show your humility, you have to show your gratitude. Then you should do it outside and not in front of the deities. Saying cruel words in front of the deity is similarly an aparadh. You should only speak good or what is better. Back. Covering oneself with a blanket in front of the deity. Because Krishna has come to see you. You are going there not to see Krishna. You're going there to show Krishna that you have come. To show that whatever be the circumstances, you are there for him. And you are thankful to him for everything that he has done to you. Please forgive me. So, if you are trying to make yourself comfortable with a blanket, then it is an offense. Criticizing others in front of them. See, everyone is accompanied by Paramatma. So in front of Krishna, if you are saying something wrong, criticizing someone, then it is an offense. So it has to be avoided. Praising others in front of deity. Deity is in front of you, who is everything. So how can you praise someone in front of the best? Not possible. And so it is an offense. Vulgar language, a strict no. As a devotee, we have to be pure in our words as well. We have to be humble. And so vulgar language has to be avoided. Passing air in front of the deity. That definitely, even in social circle, we say it is not good. So what to say in front of deity? Definitely no. It indicates that you have filled up your stomach completely, you are satisfied, and then you are coming to Lord. No, you're coming to Lord to show that, oh Lord, I'm completely dependent upon you. You take care of us. Offering less items when capable of offering more. See, if you have the capability and still you are trying to avoid offering something to Lord, then it is wrong. There was a story. It was said that once a person was traveling in a boat, and when he was going, somehow the boat capsized and he was drowning. And he was very worried. How do I? Because he didn't know how to swim. So he started making prayers. Oh, please save me. Please save me. But nothing was happening. Then he said, oh Lord, if you save me, I'll sell my palatial home, koti, and whatever is the income from that, I'll give to you. So immediately he was saved somehow by the mercy of Lord. He went back and he went there. Now he thought, oh, the whole palatial, if I have to sell and give it to Lord, it's not a good bargain. So what he thought? That okay. He declared, I'm selling my palace for 1 rupee. Anyone who wants to purchase it is welcome to purchase it for 1 rupee. But he has to simultaneously purchase my cat for 1 lakh rupees. So now he made the bargain that I'm selling the palace for only 1 rupee. And the money which is going to come from the palace is 1 rupee. But what is coming from the cat is his own. He has not promised to give what comes from the sale price of cat. Now, even after getting that, he again started thinking, how do I give it to Lord? Okay. Let me do it this way. I'll put it. If it goes on that other side, then it is Lord's. If it is on this, I'll take it. Then they came to another conclusion. I'll put it in the air. If it falls on this side, it is Lord's. If it falls on this side, it is mine. And today what we say, I put it in the air. If someone takes it, it is his, otherwise it is mine. So in spite of having capacities, if we try to do this kind of a jugglery with Lord, then it is an affront. It has to be avoided. Prabhupada ji says, Rup Goswami ji has proven, Sanatan Goswami ji has also proven that out of whatever they earned, 50% they devoted to Krishna. 25% they gave to their relatives. And 25% they kept for themselves to be utilized as and when required. So that is how our earnings have to be utilized. If you're doing anything less, it is an affront. So think about it seriously. The next are very easy. Eating food without offering it, because it is affront. Not offering seasonal fruits to the deities. So like now in summer, it is a mango season. So you should always buy mangoes. Now it is season of apples. So you should be taking apples and giving it to Lord. So whatever are the seasonal fruits, they should be bought and given to Lord. Offering the deity what is offered already to someone else, that also has to be avoided. So if you have already given something to someone and then a part of it you are giving to Lord, then it is wrong. There's a story about a Brahmana, a king, who once offered, say, 100 cows, I don't remember the exact number, to a Brahmana. Now, out of those cows, one cow came back into the stable of the king. And then he offered again hundreds of cows to another Brahmana, and in that this one cow was. So something which was offered already was again offered. The first Brahmana became very angry and he cursed. So we have to avoid such. 20th is sitting with one's back to the deity. As I said, circumambulating, the same principle here. You show disrespect if you are showing your back to someone. So deities, definitely you cannot show your back. Addressing others in front of the deity, you should never do it unless you are talking about Krishna Katha. Praising oneself in front of the deity, we have absolutely no one. So how do you praise yourself in front of deity? Never. Being silent in front of a guru. In front of a guru, we should always be pleasing him, worshipping him. You cannot remain silent. And worst, criticizing the deities. Oh Lord, you are not good. You have asked you to do this. I asked you to pass me in the exams and you have failed me. You are not good. No. Never. Oh, you are not wearing good dress today. Big aprad. Never do such things. So all these 32 items are offenses against Vishnu, which we have to be very careful of. So let us take this summarization very carefully. That we have to serve deities because there are many benefits out of it. But when we are doing it, let us avoid the mistakes. And whatever aprats, they are very easy to remember. It's just simple humility, surrenderance. Whatever you do, do it with surrenderance. Do it with humility. Understand you are absolutely no one. Everything belongs to Krishna. Isha avasyam idam sarvam. And when you are doing this way, with this mentality, you are going to temple or you are serving the deities in your house, you will not make any of the mistakes. Try to develop this. Try to inculcate this. And as said at the start itself, deity worship is very, very, very important. So if you are not having the deities at your home, then please get laminated photos at least. Bhagavatam says that deity worship is a must for Grihasthas. So when we are studying those lectures, we have already studied it previously as well. When we talked about the Varnashrama and the four ashramas, Chaturashramas, Chaturvarnas and the Chaturashramas. So for Grihasthas, deity worship is very important. So let us start doing it if you have not already done. Take laminated photos from any of the temple, order online, or take photo prints from your nearby photo shop and start serving them, offering them Mangal Aarti, offering them Guru Aarti, offering them Sandhya Aarti, minimum, and then giving them prasad at least 3 times a day or whenever you are going to be eating. Your journey in bhakti will start running. So if today you are crawling, I'm not even talking about walking. I'm saying you will start running the moment you start serving the deities. And if you are lucky enough and serve the deities in temple, then your bhakti will start flying. And it will not be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. It will be 1, 2, 8, and then 64. Not even 64, 128. 3 times, cube. So that is the importance of deity worship. So please take it up. And that is the importance of avoidance of the aparadhas which could happen. So this is all what is discussed in 8th chapter. I hope that you have been able to, and I have been able to transmit it properly to you to make it understandable. If I have failed anywhere, please forgive me, but please pray that my bhakti improves and this transmission also improves successfully.